Good morning, children. Have a nice day. Happy day to all. I am from Mahatma Gandhi Vidyalaya. I am Mrs. Nandini, social teacher. Before starting the lesson, I want to give you a thought. Sometimes you need to take a break from everyone and spend time alone to experience, appreciate, and love yourself. You have to take a break so that you will appreciate yourself, you will love yourself. Sometimes you have to take in between breaks, or in your free time you have to think about yourself and you have to appreciate your talents. This is just for your thought. Today I am going to take social science history. The lesson name is how, when and where. Historians. Who are historians? People who study history known as historians. Historians fascinated about dates. They debated about the dates on which the rulers were crowned or battles fought. They studied the changes that occurred time. But usually people say history is boring. But they are studying the dates. Based on that, they are relating the events. So they are fascinated towards the date. History is really interesting when you are studying the events and the dates and the connection between them. Now we see what is history. History is about the changes that occur time. It is about finding out how things were in the past and how things have changed. So by knowing the history, we know what happened in the past and how it was now. So history is helpful to comparison. When we compare present and past, we refer time. When we refer time, we use the words before and after. For example, BC, before Christ, AD, Anno Domini. BC means before the birth of Christ, AD means Anno Domini, in the year of Lord. For the Western people, Jesus Christ is their Lord. So, AD means in the year of Lord, after the birth of Jesus Christ. Similarly, when we are talking about the India, we say before the British rule, after the British rule. Sometimes we say before independence, after independence. Now, we are going to see about ourselves. At that time, we have so many questions. We are having buildings, we are having monuments, we are having everything. These things are all like that from the beginning? No. They were all slowly came. When they were started, when they came, for example, you are having a phone in your hand, cell phone. When this cell phone started to came, during your parents' period, grandparents' period and all, they were not there. But now you are having it. Similarly, each and everything, if you started to ask questions, then it will lead to you history. Certain things came with an exact time period. The time periods are not said exactly. For example, when tea came to India, in the morning we are drinking coffee or tea. When this tea came to India, we don't know exactly. When the people started to drink tea, they started to like their taste. Later on, tea became popular in India. So it was within a period of time. So there was a time for many things. There was a time when history was an account of battles and big events. At that time it was about the rulers and their policy. So everything was within a period of time, within a span of time. Based on that time period only, the history is written. But the dates are all even debatable. Historian wrote about the king's life and how people earned their livelihoods. They had written about the king and how the king crowned, married, when the king married, when the king had a child, at which year the king fought a particular war, and at which year he died, and the next ruler succeeded to throne. When he came, all those things. So the historian write about all those things, and then again how people earned their livelihood, what they produced and ate, how cities and markets came up, how kingdoms formed, and how new ideas spread, and how culture and society changed. All these questions the historians are answering. So for that, the dates means not the exact one, but there is a span of time, period of time. So based on the period of time, they had done the periodization. So Indian history written by British historians given importance for the rule of British Governor General. So when the Indian history in the beginning written by the British historian, they given the periodization in their own way. That is, they given importance for the rule of the Governor General. Governor General is a person sent to India by the British government to rule the India. So, whatever the Governor General done is important for them. The Governor General's achievement, the Governor General's policies, activities, their life, all these things were important for the British people. So, the first Governor General was Warren Hastings. His picture is given. Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India in 1773. While history books narrated the deeds of Governor Generals, biographies glorified them as persons and paintings projected them as powerful figures. So the pictures and the other people writing about this Governor General and all glorified them. The last viceroy was Lord Mountbatten. So the British government, when the British historians, when they return it based on the Governor General. Other Governor Generals, the list is given. Wellesley, Bentinck, Dalhousie, Canning, Lawrence, Lytton, Ripon, Curzon, Harding, Irwin. So based on these Governor General, they had classified the history. But it is not good according to us. In 1817, James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, published a 3-volume work, A History of British India. He divided Indian history as 3 periods. One is Hindu, another one is Muslim, third one is British. In this, he has shown Hindu period is full of religious, caste taboos, all those things. But Muslim period, he has shown that there is a conflict between Hindu-Muslim and Muslim rule, etc. British period, he has shown that British is enlightening India, British is civilizing the Indians. He says that India has to be conquered by the British and the British has to give knowledge for us. He shows that India is full of darkness, we don't know anything. Is it so, children? It is not so. We also have knowledge, we also have culture, we also have everything. But this shows like that. So, this classification is also not taken in account. Because here, India is shown as in a very backward position. And not only that, here the other religion people are also not given importance. What happened for the people who are all having other faith? Jains are there, Buddhism people are there, various religious people are all there. What happened to them? What happened to the common people? And this periodization is based on the rulers. Muslim ruler, Hindu ruler, British ruler. What happened to other people? We don't know. Now, our historians divided the Indian history as 3, ancient, medieval and modern period. Here ancient period is from the beginning till the 6th century. Then the medieval period 7th to 17th century. Then the modern period is after 17th, that is the British period. So in the medieval period, you have the Sultan dynasty, Mughal dynasty, all those things. So when we are dividing it like that, the word medieval means there is no feature of modern period. So it is free from the features of the modern period. The word modern is a word taken from the Western countries, that is from the European countries. It means that the development in the science, development in the equality, democracy, and liberty, everything. Liberty means freedom. But here in India, modern period, we are under the British rule. We don't have freedom, we don't have equality, we don't have democratic rule. We have the British rule only. Our country is under the British rule only. So the modern period, the word also not exact stands here. That is why some people using a different word to refer the modern period. They are using the word colonial period. Colonial means we are under the British. So we are the colonies. India is a colony for British. So British is ruling Indians. So India is a colony for British. So the modern period is referred as colonial period. Now we are coming to know about the colonization. What is colonization? The subjugation of one country by another leads to political, economical, social and cultural changes is known as colonization. It means one country is suppressing, controlling the other country and trying to take up their political, economical, social, cultural life in their hand, trying to make changes in that country. For example, British subjugated Indians. British occupied India. So they have changed our political, economical, social and cultural situation. So our culture has gone, our economy gone. About these things you are going to study in the continuing lessons. What happened elaborately you are going to study in the continuing lesson. So we are the colony under the British. Now, how we know what happened during the British period? We need some source. For example, to study the ancient history and medieval period and all, we have manuscript, we have inscriptions. Similarly, to know about the British history, we have some sources. Now we are going to study about that. Historians use British official record to study 250 years of Indian history. British believed the act of writing important. Every instructions, policy, plan, agreement, decision and investigation had to be clearly written. And these are clearly preserved. British preserved the documents in the following places: the village Tahsildar office, the collectorate, the commissioner's office, the provincial secretariats, the law courts, archives and museums. You know, archive means a place where documents, manuscript and all kept. They are like library. Similarly, these places also, the village Tahsildar office, collectorate and all, they are keeping the documents. Whenever there is a need, they will take it, they will check it, they will refer it for the reference purpose, they will use it. And these are all carefully written, debated and checked, and then they were kept. And now I will show you a picture of a archive. See, when New Delhi was built, National Museum and the National Archive were both located close to each other. This shows that they were very, very important. They were important during the British period. So the National Archive of India came up in the 1920s. And now, other than this, some other sources like the map prepared by the British people, the writings by the British people as well as the Indian people, they are also sources. Here a picture is shown you. This was totally shows the idea of the British people. That is a Brahmana given all the Shastras to the Britannica. Britannica means the Britain. So Brahmins offering the Shastras to Britannia. Front piece to the first map produced by James Rennell 1782. So Rennell was asked by Robert Clive to produce maps of Hindustan. An enthusiastic supporter of British conquest of India, Rennell saw preparation of maps essential to the process of domination. The picture here tries to suggest that Indians willingly gave over their ancient text to Britannia. That is, we are willingly giving all our text to Britannia. Britannia is a symbol of British power. As like we have Bharat Mata for India, Britannia is a symbol of British power. So they are giving, Indians are giving everything to the British power, Britannia. So they are asking, it shows that Indians are asking Britannia to protect the India, to protect the Indian culture. But this is not so. We are not interested to give everything to Britain. But this shows that we are giving everything to Britannia. Again, I am telling Britannia is like our Bharat Mata to Indians. For Indians, Bharat Mata. Similarly, for Britain, Britannia. So Britannia is a representation of British. So what are all the other sources? How the British history was learned? All these things we will see in the continuous class, children. Next class we will see. Thank you, children. Thank you, children.